part of the Press Play Podcast Network.
Blame on, and welcome back, everybody, to Podcast 616, the official podcast of Earth 616. I'm your host, Damon Royster, and today, we're back with more Fantastic Four coverage. This week, we'll be talking about Fantastic Four 2, Rise of the Silver Surfer, a.k.a. the one with the culturally appropriative wedding at the end. Oh, my God. Can you believe it? We got a real treat for you today. Joining us live from Santa Monica, I believe. We have close by Santa Monica. We have a performer, an improviser, a Firelight employee, and my work wife, Cassie Grilley. Hello, Cassie.
Hi, Damon. I'm so happy to be here.
Oh, thank you. I'm also realizing I'm doing terrible with last names. I've never said your last name out loud. Is it Grilley?
Yes, perfect.
Love it. Love it. And our second guest, anxiously awaiting to surf in with his thoughts. This is an actor, writer, a multi hyphenate coming from West Hollywood. The one who knocks. It's Andrew Knox. Hello.
Hey, Damon. Thanks for being here.
Oh, thank you for having me.
Of course.
All right, you guys, thank you so much for doing this podcast. I don't know if you knew what you were getting into, Cassie and Andrew. I did corner you at a bar and beg you to do this. And here we are. Andrew, you've already been on the podcast before, so shush. Cassie, first time guest. Can you talk to me about your relationship to Marvel movies, if you have one?
Yes. Okay, so my relationship is this. I've seen a bunch of them here and there. It doesn't quite stick as well as I had hoped every single movie, but my relationship with Fantastic Four, 0. This is my first one I've ever seen, so...
Well, I was going to say, oh no, but they're honestly all like this. Having seen all of them now,
I think I picked apart. I was like, I'm understanding. I didn't know any of their names either. That was the craziest part. I'm like, how did they get their powers? What are their names? What's going on? But loved.
I mean, I honestly wish I could tell you that there was something missing. Like,
nothing.
I mean, they went to space, a cloud passed through them. They now have powers. And here we are.
They're all stretchy. They're all very stretchy.
Well, the one, and then one disappears and one flames on and one's a rock.
Right.
But in this movie, they play past the powers, so they all kind of
which
get stretchy.
True. That I see what you mean. Andrew Knox, let me know, what is your Fantastic Four relationship like? Did you watch these movies?
Hell no. But I remember when they came out, you know what I mean? I didn't realize that Chris Evans was in it. He's been Marveling for a long ass time. Good
Stays
God.
Marvel.
He's stay Marvel so you don't have to get Marvel. What I remembered was just that Jessica Alba was in them. Like, I feel like she was the star back then. And that Mark Anthony is not the other guy.
Who's Mark Anthony? Jennifer
He's
Lopez's
not
ex-husband?
Yeah. She sang to me, remember? But doesn't he look like the other guy?
Yes, you mean the lead playing Mr. Fantastic.
Yeah, but it's not him. That was kind of my big takeaway.
I think you say his name, Ioan Grufford.
Yeah, sounds very British.
Yeah. Ioan Grufford, truly my least favorite part of these movies. Not to give away where I'm going with the fuck, marry, kill of it all, but I think
I fuck who I hate.
And I'm budging. This is a rough one. It reminded me how rough 2007 was, because this was also the year Spider-Man 3 came out, which was the worst Spider-Man movie with Tobey Maguire when he had like that emo haircut. And God, it was bad. It was just bad. It was a bad year. Let's dig in. We're so excited. So, Cassie Grilley, you know that thing when you're like touring Egypt and you want to see the Sphinx, and then it just starts snowing everywhere.
Wild, insane.
Yeah. You study, weather patterns, I believe, from my research that we've done on you.
Yeah.
So can you talk to me about? Yeah. Can you talk to me about this opening image of the film of like, the frozen water in Japan, snowing in the desert? We're starting wild.
We're starting out of control. We're starting concerned faces. We're starting people on their vacations wanting to have a wonderful time. And then what's going on? The world is either snowing or frozen. That's what's going on.
One of the two.
One of the two. One of the two.
Absolutely. And Andrew Knox, also in our research, we found that do you have something to say?
Well, so many of these movies, disaster movies, Marvel movies, to show that something is going to affect everyone or how big of a force it is, they always go to rural cliches of countries where it's like these Japanese fishermen salting fish on the deck for no, like, what the heck? I don't know how to salt fish, but you definitely don't do it outside of the container. And then it's like, then the pyramids. And then later when he falls back to Earth, it's like some random looked like a white man dressed in like what would be like Arabic garb in a tent in the middle of the desert. Like, there's so like these just cliches around the world for how it's going to affect everyone.
Oh yeah, they just want to make sure it's not America. Like, so everyone's like, gotcha.
Yes.
No hot dogs here. But Andrew Knox and Michael, our producer, did some research on you, and you have habitually, you used to be a silver surfer yourself.
I did, yeah, when I was younger. Now I'm a silver stand-up paddleboarder.
Amazing. Can you talk to us about the techniques of the silver surfer? Like, do you think it was matching with your experience?
Yeah, so what he's doing is what we call longboarding. So you're not going to see like the, is it Kelly Slater, that the world famous surfer from the 2000s? Yeah, I'll just say yes. Kelly Slater.
Definitely. Kelly
because the AC Slater. That's like shortboard, right? So that's like fast X Games. You're ripping up and down. What this guy is doing is just, you get the whole board is like a big long plank, and you can walk up it and you can walk down it, and it's just slowly riding waves. And it's a great way to do like long travel surfing. Like a surfing road trip kind of thing.
Absolutely. Especially when you're the herald of, impending doom. You got to have that long board.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. You're the town crier for death. You got to have a long board.
Yeah. He's like, who's the one? The British are coming.
Paul Revere.
Paul Revere. Very Paul Revere, but it's Galactus is coming.
Yes.
We have to say Galactus today. Okay. Then we're like in the airport. Cassie Grilley, first time watching a Fantastic Four movie. Did you get that they were very popular? That they were like the celebrity effect? Yeah.
They were on the cover of the magazine, of the paper. I saw that they were on the TV. I was like and then I also forgot that Jessica Alba was in it. And I was like, oh, there's Jessica Alba. And I gotta tell you, I was expecting Mark Ruffalo. And then I was like, nope, that's just Rockman. I was like, okay, Rockman's vibing in the airport. But yeah, they seemed very popular. I love a good big scene with tons of people, because we just saw little snippets of people around the world. So I'm like, okay, give us 100 bajillion people in a very busy airport.
Where are the people?
Where are they?
Yes, this movie franchise seems to be obsessed with the idea of their celebrity and not about what they do to earn that celebrity.
Right.
Like, to this day, I have never seen the Fantastic Four save a person. I've never seen them save a human being. I guess there's the Ferris wheel scene in London. There's that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Please.
Because I was waiting for that too. I was like, all right, who are we saving? I was like, is anyone going to die? Because no one's dying yet.
Nobody's dying. And there's that scene where like Jessica Alba is like going over reports or something where like the police are suing them or for damage or something.
I tell you what, I appreciated that. I don't appreciate that it was the police office or whatever, but in all of those movies, you see so many random people's cars and property being destroyed. And then they're just like, it's like the Taken movies where it's like, sure, he saved his daughter, but he killed 500 people. Some of them are innocent. And so there's a debt to be paid. So I do appreciate that they get sued for property damage.
Absolutely. I just wish that wasn't the most action-packed moment of the movie.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
It's like,
we save cars, not people.
Yeah. I would rather see it than like hear the paperwork afterwards.
Obsessed.
Also,
Damon, that is the new Marvel series of just like the people that have to do damage control and like the actuaries that are involved for Marvel. So good.
Uh-oh. The Hulk came to town again. Oh my God. We got to fill some potholes today.
We got a lot of claims to write.
And like, why didn't this movie start at the wedding? why did we have to watch them board a plane? Why? Cassie Grilley, tell me why. I know you know.
Okay, it's because you have to see that they're just like us. They fly coach sometimes. You know, Rockman has to go in middle seat. You have to
Mhm.
see like how they interact with the world and what it's like, and you have to see Chris Evans flying alongside.
You knew when he said, "I don't fly coach," you knew
I
you
knew
knew what was happening.
something was coming.
I mean,
Yeah.
also, how lax of TSA to let him get on the plane and then walk off the plane. I feel like once you're on the plane, you're on the plane. And this is
Yeah.
2007. They
Did
know.
9/11 even happen? Like what? Yeah.
Maybe the Fantastic Four prevented it. I don't know. So, okay. I want to just put this in your ears because I found this out this morning. You know, at the end of the movie when they have their little plane, the Fantastic Four plane that splits symmetrically into three pieces for even though it's built for four people. That's great.
A reverse Power Rangers.
Yes. That apparently is called the Fantasticar.
No.
I just want to put that in the chat. I just
Obsessed
want,
with
and I feel like this plane thing, it's supposed to be like a callback. Remember when they were traveling commercially? Now they have the Fantasticar.
Damon, yeah.
my thought with that from the very beginning, I was like, okay, this is what the second movie, right? This is the second movie.
Yep.
Why don't they have their own private thing? They must have saved people in the first one. So I'm like, why are they?
Oh, Cassie, that's what you think.
Okay, well,
The first movie is mostly them. They get their powers and then they're like, but how does it work? Like, how did these movies are very, they think audiences want to know. They think audiences are really interested in like, but how did they get their powers? How does it all work? Give me the
it's
science.
the theme. Going through the weeds of the things, working on the claims, figuring out how to do
Mhm.
the thing rather than showing it.
Every single movie for me is a math quiz, and all I want to see is you show your work. I don't care what the answers are. Show the work. Show us the science behind it.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Okay. So speaking of, I feel like you're talking about techniques. And speaking of techniques, Andrew, Knox, we have a lot of research on both of you this week. I found out you were actually Kerry Washington's acting coach for this movie.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And what's crazy is that I didn't even know the character was blind. I just tell people to look to the middle distance. Don't make eye contact with your scene partners. And also look the wrong direction in a way that doesn't make sense for anybody who has no senses. I don't care if you're blind. They had her look places that didn't make any sense. It was like people would turn to her. She or the director would realize they're kind of looking at each other. And so they would be like, okay, Carrie, why don't you just turn around and talk to them like they're behind you, even though you can clearly hear them and they're this direction. It was jarring,
to say the least.
Yes, she was so blind. She was blinder than anyone has ever been.
I would agree. Cassie Grilley, any Kerry Washington thoughts?
That touched on so much of it because I literally had to rewind. I was like, what is happening?
Yes.
Is there something about this character I am missing fully? Because I was like, how did they not be like, oh, let's try maybe one more take, one more just to get a little bit closer? Or like the kiss at the end, I was like, what is happening here? This looks horrible.
And I don't know how there's so many things. Kerry Washington, famously not a blind person, just, to do our due diligence with that for now. I don't know how it works. I don't know why she prefers rock to man. I have questions. I have so many questions.
She's blind. It's the only way that she would date that dry, cracked skin penis is her being blind.
I guess that I was saying it's a Butterfinger with the chocolate melted off.
Okay, I could see that. Yeah, I could definitely see that. That guy will get stuck in your molars for a week.
Oh yeah, 100%. You're gonna get the thing stuck in your teeth.
Yes.
Yeah, and also I don't know how I feel. I'm glad she had more to do than the first movie where she just kind of showed up and it's like, and just kind of was touching Michael Chiklis's crevices. But this time she's like fully mystical black person with like all the wise knowledge for all the characters, and she's like, I see you. I mean, I can't see, but I see you. And she's basically there to tell everybody what their character development is.
Yes. Wait, what is that term? It's like The Legend of Bagger Vance with Will Smith and stuff. There's like so many movies of that.
Oh, I think officially it's like the mystical Negro character, I think is the official title.
It definitely really plays in that pool.
Yeah. And to the point where I'm like, well, what else would they do? What else would they do with it? Give her a personality?
She has a personality. She's blind. Is what the writers were doing. That's what I'm saying.
Fair. Okay. Cassie Grilley.
Yes.
Let's play this thought experiment. It's your
Mhm.
wedding day.
Mhm.
And wouldn't you know it, the government sent a helicopter and it crashes. Would you collapse in a heap of wedding dress like Jessica Alba?
Without a
Would
doubt.
you?
Without a doubt. I would be fully heaped onto the floor if I saw a helicopter come in hot and then basically scissor up all the chairs. You would see me heaped on the floor, wailing to the gods that my special day is ruined. That's what you would see, without a doubt. And I would throw my fist at the air for the government. How dare
Yeah.
you come and ruin my special day? How many times did they try to do it? 3? This is like the 3rd time or something?
The 3rd time, yeah. I'm so sorry. I skipped the bachelor party. How could I do that? How could I skip
my
Reed Richards' bachelor party?
My
That came
God.
first. I want to apologize, not just to Cassie, but to all women. I'm so sorry for these
The entire
women.
movie? Just kidding.
Yeah, I would apologize to all women for this entire movie. But also, who were these women? These like not real creatures that were like into Reed Richards. No one's into Reed
Non-playing
Richards.
characters.
Not playing.
Yes. Oh my God. So well said. They only exist in the mid-aughts.
Mhm.
They exist in that window, not before, not after.
Ooh, you do science? I don't know. I'm gonna throw my whole night away for this. Let's keep talking.
In my shirt, that's a shirt in the front and one string in the back.
One string, yes.
So
Also,
much-
his dancing, I mean, good God, where he's just like, let me just break stuff.
And he was like so proud and like that was just I was cracking up because he was like really feeling his elasta arms wrapped around them, pulling them in. I was like,
Mhm.
okay, kill it.
And
Truly the second worst choreography in the movie. The worst choreography in the movie was their roller chair scene before that, where they're like, okay, roll this way, Chris Evans and Mark Anthony, when they're rolling back and forth.
Yes.
You know, in the thing where they're like, oh yeah, I disagree. Roll back to my computer. Roll, 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 roll. It
Mhm.
made me seasick.
damn. And the ocean's frozen. That's crazy. We then we get a classic sitcom moment where Jessica Alba was like, how could you? This is like a wave of feminism that men created. Where like Andrew, were you gonna say something?
No. I'm so interested in what you're gonna say. That's why I got excited.
Well, it's like this. I know because I used to write characters this way when I did sketch comedy in Chicago, where it's like, the woman comes in with her arms crossed, like, I'm mad, but also I get freaky as well, different than you. And then he's like, hey, wait a minute. I don't like that. I can, do the tepidest of flirting, but not you. Am I making sense? Or am I the Silver Surfer? Tell me.
Yes, no, honestly, at that time, that felt like progress, which is
Mhm.
wild now to think about. But that did feel where it's like, oh yeah, women have fun too. Check this out.
All right. Andre Brower is our like resident asshole character. It's weird to see him in this movie because I feel like he's yet to achieve Andre Brower status. Where like, on Brooklyn Nine-Nine, but he's like, it seems like he's doing a caricature of what he'll be later. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Oh yeah, God bless the broken road. This is how we got Brooklyn Nine-Nine.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah. But he alerts us to the Silver Surfer thing, and he's like, I need Reed Richards, not a woman. Oh, I need Reed. Get out of here, Sue. Who I just want to say for the record, because my roommate forgot this. Jessica Alba is indeed a scientist. She's not just wearing those glasses for looks. She's a scientist as well. Did you clock that?
In the movie?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, I'm
I
so
was
sorry.
like, are you telling me something about Jessica Alba that I do not know yet? Yes, 100%. I did clock that. I was like, She also did so much of the work. Her talking Silver Surfer, she really was coming in hot. She like heaped and then freaking grew into the entire heart of this movie. I'd like to say.
Please.
Oh,
yeah.
She did so much of like the emotional. She did the physical work, but then she did the emotional labor for the Silver Surfer later. And then the only reason it's saved is because she reminds him of another girl.
I mean, Whitney Houston said it best. She's every woman. It's all in her. Anything you want done, baby. Anyway, the Silver Surfer is coming. He attacks the wedding. Johnny Storm, which is, again, a fine superhero name. You don't need to be called the Human Torch when your name's already Johnny Storm. He fights the Silver Surfer, gets touched, and then he gets this goofy thing. And I'm just going to say this right here. I'm so sorry. I'm going to pop off. Michael, don't cut any of this. This movie would have been fucking great if it was about the four of them switching powers. If they each took on a new power. 100%. And then like Michael Chiklis can just be Michael Chiklis out of the Rock formation. What a handsome man. What a snack of a man he is. I said it last time on the first one. I'll say it again. Never said a bad thing about Michael Chiklis. Never said a bad thing about Michael Chiklis. And it would have been so fun. It would have been a great way to, get to know the characters more. They would teach each other, like, here's how I become invisible. Here's how I shoot fire. But the problem is that Chris Evans is the best part of this movie. I'll admit that. But instead of the people making the movie taking that as an opportunity to make everyone else rise to his level, they do this thing. You'll get this, you guys. They do this thing on improv teams when there's one player who's really hot and they just give him all the bits. And it's like, oh, well, you're doing well, so we'll just focus on you instead of trying to make everyone else rise to his level. They were just like, let's just give everything to Chris Evans. And that's all I wanted to say. I would have liked the movie if they had done what I just said.
Well, that's what I was anticipating. I was like, oh, this is so fun. What a fun game to play throughout the movie. They all have different powers. They're all just going to go in there, do different things. But I was like, okay, so he just can't touch anybody because then he'll pop off for 5 seconds and then come back. And then, I was disappointed thoroughly. I almost turned it off. I'm just kidding.
Yeah. And the switching of powers thing, they used the logic so specifically. Like, I feel like the logic didn't apply universally. Like, the guy, Chris Evans, is like, I don't want to turn into a flame. This is Dolce. Like, okay, so it's going to be burned up. But earlier when he was wearing something, it didn't get burned up. Maybe that was flame retardant. I don't know. But then he comes back and he's not naked. But then Jessica Alba gets the thing and she becomes like, she gets his power and her wedding dress gets burned off or whatever. So it's like, what? It only applies if you have boobs?
Yeah. Which, in the first one, that is a gag they did where, when she's first learning to be invisible, you can still see her clothes. So she has to take off all her clothes. And now in this, her clothes get burnt up.
Yeah, and that's another thing. In the dancing scene with Mark Anthony, he kept extending and his shirt would extend. I'm sorry, Brooks Brothers has a little bit of stretch, but one, not in the mid-aughts, and two, not that much.
God forbid, one little move from Jessica Alba, totally naked. Completely, all
buck naked.
Gone.
Buck naked. And then nothing to do for the next 20 minutes.
No. What the outfits that they had her in very much felt like music videos that were about like, you're hot for teacher. You know what I mean? Like those glasses and then the kind of like ruffled sleeves that are short, whatever. And it was like, now I'm a hot teacher in an 80s music video or something.
Yeah, it's definitely that, like, she's the librarian telling you to shush because you're in a rock band playing in the library. But then by the end, she's taking her hair down and she's unbuttoning her shirt and she's dancing along with the music.
Because that's her form of punishment. Yeah. Something else that I wanted to ask you guys. When it goes to show Von Doom in that, like, weird cavernous thing, the country is Latveria. I'm not a geography person, but that is made up in part of the Hallmark fake country universe, right?
Yes, that is where Dr. Doom is originally from. I don't know if this Dr. Doom is from there, but that's where he was being stored.
But Latveria in the real world isn't real. It's like a Christmas country.
Yes. It's like a country called Christmas.
Okay.
Yes. I guess we have to talk about Dr. Doom. I hate it. Again, this actor, Julian McMahon, Julian, what a handsome man. truly, best seasons of Charmed were when he was on the show. He was on the show from season 3 to through season 6. Don't watch it. Don't watch the before. Don't watch the after. It'll tell you everything you need to know about Charmed. His Doom sucks. Also, I need the U.S. government to stop trying to work with Dr. Doom. In every iteration of the Fantastic Four, every Fantastic Four movie, someone's like, hey, I have a new scientist I want to work with. His name's Victor Von Doom. And then they're always surprised when he betrays them. Cassie, I know that Dr. Doom is your uncle, so apologies.
I'm really offended. Can you please? He's not that bad. Just let him in one more time. I promise this time it will be different. He's
I don't
great.
know. I see no proof of that, but I mean, this
He
is your
doesn't
first
watch
time
Fox News anymore.
No, I promise. Yeah, he turned it off. I promise.
I would love the head of
good
Fox
now.
News as Dr. Doom. Cassie, this was your first time seeing any Dr. Doom, correct?
Yeah, correct.
How do you feel? How do you feel now?
Hurt, betrayed. No, immediately. Okay, my first thought, because I was taking notes on my phone because I was like, I don't want to forget anything because I was like, I don't know anything. And I think to look at my notes, I said Dementor. Because he, like, when you first, I was like,
Yes.
I was like, okay, he looks like a Dementor. And I was like, okay, this guy has to be bad. Like, there's no way that he's bad. And then when he appears in human form and people are like, I was happy that people were sus of him when he came in. I was like, okay, good. This is making sense. But the fact that he was in there just chill. Yeah. My first thought was evil, which was good. Yeah. Second thought, Dementor.
Trust your instincts. Yes, trust your instincts.
Third thought, my uncle's killing it in this movie.
I mean, honestly, he is bringing about the destruction of all mankind, but he is killing the game.
He's killing it.
It's an absolute slay. Andrew Knox, any Dr. Doom thoughts? I know you auditioned for this part, I think.
I continue to send self-tapes. Yeah, I'm trying to book the room, not the role. I mean, yeah, I didn't understand the logic of why he's back. That it was just one of those, like, there's only one scientist. No, not him, the person that was the villain in the first movie. Then, yeah, he goes from looking like Dwight in The Office when he is pretending to be Darth Maul or whatever, not Dwight, Michael. And then is wearing all black with his Just for Men hair dye. His hair is so dark and wet. Yeah, but also a great reminder, less is more with acting. His face never moves, but it's always effective. As long as we're also talking about acting, before we go past it, I want to just quickly call out a couple of cameos, okay? We have Brian Posehn, who comes back. He's the minister. He's like a 90s stand-up. He was in news radio and stuff like that. He could have been so much fun. They didn't give him a lot to work with, but he did well. And also... Is anybody else watching Love is Blind right now? Vanessa Lachey. Hello. And obviously I'm Vanessa Lachey.
Yeah. Yeah. This is before, it was so weird to see her at a time where, Nick Lachey is married to Jessica Simpson. It's like, what's in store for you?
Yeah.
For her.
Probably would have been better off staying with Chris Evans, even though it was a movie thing, but
in the first one, Chris Evans had a little dalliance with Maria Menounos.
So, and there was another E-tainment person who I remembered from that time. I don't remember her name.
Juliana something.
Yes.
Yeah. We love a cameo.
Mm-hmm.
So, Andrew, thank you for those shout outs. And
you're welcome. Happy to get us off track all the time.
Absolutely. We're going to do another kind of shout out, and that's a shout out to our break. We're going to take a hot little break. You're going to listen to some ads, or for me, just, what? No, listen to the ads. Listen to the ads. It's a great podcast. We'll be back to talk about, I guess we'll talk about the Silver Surfer. I feel like we have barely scratched the surface on this chrome dome. So keep it right back here. We're still talking about Silver Surfer. I love you all. We'll be right back.
Hello, Brooks here with the Books with Brooks monthly book club podcast. Here's how Books with Brooks works. We read one book a month, and then we talk about it. Classics like Stephen King's The Shining, debut novels like We Are the Brennans by Tracy Lang, and tons of other compelling, life-changing stories, one book and 1 month at a time. So come read along with us, and then listen in.
Welcome, everyone, to Podcast 616, the official podcast of Earth 616. I am your host, Damon Royster, and I am inviting you to listen and subscribe to this Marvel Cinematic Universe podcast. On Podcast 616, we gather some of today's greatest comedians, writers, and actors to dive deep into all things Marvel, like comic book history and lore, all the interconnected superhero storylines, and of course, who's hot and who's not in the MCU. Honestly, why aren't you listening right now? You have the power to listen to Podcast 616. And as we always say, with great power comes even greater responsibility. Listen and subscribe to Podcast 616 wherever you get your podcasts.
Hey everyone, this is Don Mike Mendoza, the host of Producing While Asian. Join us in Season 2 for more conversations with actors, artists, producers, and more from Broadway, Hollywood, and beyond, every other Wednesday on the Press Play Podcast Network.
And we're back. Welcome back, everybody. Okay, Cassie Grilley, the Silver Surfer. This is, again, I'm really interested in how you feel as like your first Fantastic Four movie. Did you get it? Silver Surfer? Did you get it?
Did I get what? Like he existed? He was there.
His whole thing, his whole plan, like what he wanted, what he didn't want. Like
Okay.
How he
I put in my notes, I was like, okay, Silver Surfer, saw him, Yoda. He's like Yoda. Because I watched it twice because I was like, ooh, this is a good moment where he like kneels down. He's like, I am the herald of the whatever. I was like, oh, okay, we're in.
Yes.
But I was like, there's something. I knew he had a little heart in there that we learn later.
Mm-hmm.
We learn later.
I
thought he was fantastic. He was my Fantastic Four. I loved that guy.
All one of him?
All one of them. Him and his surfboard. His longboard, it killed.
I love it. Yes. And voiced by Sir Lawrence Fishburne, I do believe.
Don't know that, sir, but love that.
Yeah. Of Matrix fame. Andrew Knox, again. Wait, sorry, Cassie, you don't know who Lawrence Fishburne is?
No, I also haven't seen The Matrix. I know. I've gone a long time. It has to happen soon. Every single improv scene, everyone brings up The Matrix, and I have to know kind of what it's about. But I still haven't had it spoiled, so.
That's fine. I'm less about The Matrix, but you surely have seen Lawrence Fishburne before. Like, have you seen Blackish, the TV show?
I have.
He's the granddad. He's Anthony Anderson's dad.
Okay, we're back.
Okay.
We're back.
Woo. Okay.
I know, so sorry.
I just love how that broke Damon, though. Of like, okay, so let's Cassie.
I was like, oh, I can't move on. He's too iconic.
Let's go to another break.
3 seconds.
I need a 3-second break. Andrew Knox, again, famously known Silver Surfer yourself. Were you vibe? What was his real name in the end? Was it, I want to say
Norden, something.
Mordum?
Lawrence Fishburne? I don't know. But also the body was played by, my wife and I looked it up, and it's a guy who played like the weird dead guy in Hocus Pocus. He plays like a lot of inanimate, weird gremlin type characters. He's played a bunch of famous ones that I can't recall.
My gosh. I'm looking up right now.
Norin Rad is what I put in my notes. Maybe that's wrong, but that's what I put in my notes.
Are
you looking up the actor? Got it.
I am so sorry.
Here's what I'll say while you look it up that I appreciated about the Silver Surfer. I hated the idea of a surfboard. I thought it was so stupid. It was just so stupid. But I did appreciate that there, even though it was sort of this anatomical, jacked, huge traps, like very thin but ripped guy, setting men back decades. I did appreciate on his face, he had a very clear triangle of sadness. The in between the eyes, the 11s. That thing. I mean, he needs Botox and he refuses to get it. And I love that about him, that he's allowing himself to age like that, which being a herald of death will do that to you.
I have the name. Doug Jones.
And what other things?
I mean, I know him. He was in a pretty famous episode of Buffy the Vampire Slayer. The Gentleman, if anyone's a fan. It was kind of important television. But he's done other stuff too. But yeah, Doug Jones is the body of the Silver Surfer. The surfer's name is Norin Rad.
Oh, Cassie.
I got it.
Got it. Norin. Yeah, so he's just kind of like it's very nice of Galactus to send a warning, like, hey, I'm gonna destroy you. If you see a surfer, you're gonna die. Got the ring vibes. It's like 8 days
Literal
later.
full ring vibes.
Right.
I was like, come on, 8 days.
Come
And
on,
his
8
job
days.
his job is to drill pilot holes in Earth so that when they do the actual screws,
Mhm.
Earth doesn't crack or something.
No, it will crack.
Right,
full-
but I don't
it's a
get
full
the
face
pilot
crack.
holes.
Uh-huh. I mean, pilot holes, freezing the ocean, snow in Egypt. It's just, it's like raining toads, rivers of blood. It's just like classic Egyptian kind of like,
Classic
are-
Egyptian.
a swarm of locusts. It's just like the end is coming.
Yeah.
Get used to it. Babies born with their eyes inside out.
Oh, I
Family
do.
fun stuff.
Now I know. Yes, absolutely. My friend Kerry Washington actually was born that way.
Insane. The greatest actor of the movie, you mean?
Oh, 100%.
All right. I guess let's go to England. Let's go to London. Cassie, you were saying this is like when you were like, finally, they're saving people. They're being superheroes.
Yes.
About 45 minutes in, which I've learned is pretty atypical for Fantastic Four movies. It takes them a while to help anyone.
I'm just discussing it.
Yeah. Cassie Grilley, again, in our research, you have the ability to turn invisible and create shields.
Mm-hmm.
Does it also immediately weaken you whenever you use that power, as it does Sue Storm?
Oh, 100%. I mean, why do you think I would heap around?
Mhm.
It takes everything out of me to just do a little bit, and then I immediately heap on floor.
Yeah.
Immediately. I mean, I don't want to say that it's you're welcome, but I'm saying you're welcome because it's a gift to everyone.
Yeah.
I haven't learned quite yet how to balance. I put 155% into force field and then 0 left back for myself.
Why is it? Yeah, and thank you. We don't thank you enough for the work you do.
Thank you.
Why is she the only one who passes out? Why is it Johnny Storm can just fly around for fucking hours, literally go into space? Like he literally was dropped from space, and he's like, "No, I'm good." But she's like, "Oh, I made a force field. It's too much. Nosebleed. I can't."
Literally every ounce of my feminism leaves my body while watching that. Look,
Yeah.
I don't know. Was it her clothes? What was it? What could it have been for me? It's because I just didn't eat enough that day. I didn't have enough of a snack. Oh my god.
I just had half
Bread to wed.
Yeah, she's been on that wedding diet. She's not strong.
They keep pushing me at the wedding, and I have to stay the same size.
It's rough. It's very rough. Like, and also, I think last week, Mike Aviles, our guest, pointed out the whiteification of Jessica Alba and how they I don't know, and it felt pushed even more this time. Like, her eyes are so blue, like
Too blue.
the actual color of water, which is not real. Andrew, I'm noticing you have blue eyes, correct?
I do, yeah, famously.
God. What's that like?
I'll say it's not easy. It's not easy, right? But we all have our crosses to bear, and I'm dragging mine to the top of the hill to, get nailed to.
Yes, thank you for dying for our sins. Yeah, as a blue-eyed person, were you offended by the overbluing of her eyes?
Oh yeah, yeah.
As a
I
natural
understand.
blue-eyed person,
Right? Like the cartoonishly blue, and it makes the rest of us look less blue. You know what it looked like? It looked like honestly around the same time, mid-aughts, when you would get colors, you get pictures developed or something, and people with blue eyes, maybe all eyes, would have red eyes, depending on the lighting and stuff like that. And then they gave you these blue dots to put over. Do you guys ever see that? My family was obsessed with them. They gave you blue dots, and you put blue dots over the red eyes to make them look like your eyes.
Oh wow.
And okay, so it must be only a very pale white person thing to do. But they would sell these little blue dots, and put blue dots over your eyes, and it looked insane. It looked way worse than any red eyes, and it looked like that.
Did they come in different sizes? Because it's like, what if you were further away in the picture?
Yeah, they must have. I don't know. They were just in the back of the pack for a while. Maybe it was even earlier. I don't know. But I will say the one thing I did, what did everybody think when she and they were saving the London Eye, that Ferris wheel? What other piece of media did it make you think of?
Harry Potter and the Half-Blood Prince.
The BB Mac Back Here music video. Right, guys? When they're in the London Eye.
I'm sorry.
Is everybody still there? The Zoom.
I'm sorry. I thought you wanted an answer.
I think we're all frozen.
Should we take a break and let the audience watch that music video, or was?
Oh, I'm sure they already paused and were like, BB Mac.
I'll be right back. Yeah, I gotta watch that thing.
I'm gonna be distracted for the next 4 or 5 minutes because I need to look up what that is and watch it.
The song.
You don't know. Come on.
And now you're back here, baby.
Babe.
Is it?
Yeah.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
Miss you, want you. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. We're recently, Andrew and I realized that we're very similar in age, which I still can't believe.
Yeah, you look so much older, but it's crazy that we are the same.
In one of the quickest correct and then incorrect moves, Andre Braugher is like, Fantastic Four, you're out. I'm like, great. They kind of suck as a team. You should not rely on them. And then he's like, Dr. Doom, you're in. No, so close. And ultimately, it leads to his later disintegration because Dr. Doom does just eviscerate Andre Braugher, which is like, that's how I knew he wasn't famous in 2007. Because now that would never happen.
Yeah.
Yeah, they kind of leave him as like a half of his body is still there. It looked like art.
It looked like, I think that's a great way to sum up this movie. It looks like art.
It's not, but it looks like art.
Very not. I mean, I kind of want to yada, yada, yada the rest of this movie. I remember we're in the forest and they're like setting up these little devices.
Mm-hmm.
And then Sue has, she has the emotional connection with the surfer. She's like, maybe we should talk to him. And everyone's like, therapy's not real. Shut up. Yeah, we learned that. There's also a very annoying romance between Johnny Storm and that soldier woman who I will heretofore refer to as Cadet Kelly.
Literal Cadet Kelly. That's what I was. Oh my God. 100%. I was like, oh, okay. Cadet Kelly slay. Got it.
This is what happened after she won that step off. She went to Rise of the Silver Surfer.
Cannot believe you watched Cadet Kelly on the Disney Channel and not BB Max Back Here on the Disney Channel. But okay. Can I also say they are now wearing their uniforms, the final Fantastic Four uniforms, and they look like a scuba news team. The Four looks like a local news thing, but they're scuba.
Total.
And I would say, what makes you think they're not? What evidence is there to show that they're not just that?
The lack of a microphone, I think, is the only thing, but they could be loved.
I mean, exactly.
They got the Broadway forehead.
Yeah.
The double.
Yes. So the news team is on the case, and Cassie Grilley, you famously lock up superheroes. Mm-hmm. If you knew that one of the team members has invisibility powers, like they're very famous and everyone knows what they can do. There's that scene where Chris Evans like opens the door like, hey, can we get some food? Why would you not think someone would just sneak out? Like, why would you give it just this movie?
Because trust.
It's breaking me.
Trust. Once I know that they're in there, and once we've had the heart-to-heart conversation, there's no way you're sneaking out. There's no way you're tiptoeing around. There's no way you're using your special powers for anything else.
No.
Trust.
I mean, trust. And that's on me.
Why also did that guy have a big suitcase? The guard walked away with a big suitcase, and I was like, that must play a role, and it didn't. He just had his prop.
He was just leaving the movie.
Oh my God.
It's like, I'll do this one scene and then I'm out.
I'm done.
I'm keeping my real shoes. They're in here.
All right. So Dr. Doom, in a surprise no one saw coming, betrays everyone, steals the Silver Surfer board and becomes the new Surfer. Mm-hmm. For global dominance. Andrew, Knox, you read the full script. Why did he do this? Why did Dr. Doom steal the Surfer's board?
I think because of the first one, he's just still butthurt over the Fantastic Four defeating him. And yeah, he's thirsty for power. That's what gets him off. And that's his kink, and so he wants it.
Yep. And there it is. So, they all hop. We're getting out of this. They hop in the Fantastic Car, confronting Dr. Doom in Shanghai. Johnny absorbs the combined powers of all the team, which again, they just want more Chris Evans because he's the star. Then they rock him, sock him, destroy him, but Galactus has already arrived. But then the Surfer realizes he could always destroy Galactus and realizes this is actually bad. So then he goes into the esophagus of the giant space monster and blows him up from the inside. And then, what else are you going to do but have a very appropriative wedding in Shanghai, which were those even traditional Shanghai garb? Oh, I'm so sorry. It's not Shanghai.
That was Japan.
They go to Japan. Yeah, they leave Shanghai to go to Japan, which is a very different country. Why not just go home? Why not just go home?
I know. I think I may have blinked and I was like, where are we? What happened? Because I was like, okay, I was writing a note, looked up, and I was like, okay, we're in a wedding and we're in Japan. Okay, what is going on? And none of their friends are there, but a lot of other people are there.
But you know who is there? Yes. Brian Posehn. They flew Brian Posehn in.
They're like, we need one more white person at this Japanese wedding.
Yeah, and he's got the little Catholic Church white collar thing. Like, I don't know, maybe that's other ministers, but I thought it was only Catholics, and it's so odd.
Mm-hmm. Very odd. Andrew, was this very similar to your wedding?
Well, ours pushed it a little further. Yeah, we had R. Kelly's Toy playing the whole time, and it was really just it was the worst of the worst for every single reason.
Don't take me there.
Can you believe? I mean, good God. I can't believe that was a song. No, it was horrible. It was very similar to our wedding, but granted, our wedding happened after this movie, so we kind of stole it. One other thing that I just want to quickly touch on that I hate that Marvel movies and all these movies do, when the cloud is taking over Earth, they show it, and the lapse of time is like, oh, it's swallowing Earth now. And then it cuts back to the characters, and there's 5 more minutes. You know what I mean? Like, it's happening, but it hasn't happened yet. And then it shows it more, and it's like everything's just about to die. And then somehow it cuts away and you feel like you have more time. That takes me out of all of those movies. Sorry.
Yeah. I mean,
I feel like you asked me a question. I'm like, I don't care. Here's what I actually want to say. So I want to apologize for that.
No, please. This is also last call for Silver Surfer thoughts, because after this, I'm never talking about this movie again. So this is your chance.
Okay. Another thought I have is, small thought, but Saturn's gone. No one's talking about Saturn disappearing. That, like, what? I was like, that's pretty important that Saturn's just up and left.
I mean, I feel bad for all those 27-year-olds who are awaiting their Saturn return. That's never going to happen.
Yeah. I saw that and I was like, okay, no one's going to touch on that. All right. No one cares. No, we're wedding. We're at a wedding.
No, we want to see them get married.
Yes. Oh, but also one more little thought was of course, the drama of them overhearing. This is like far back in the movie when they're overhearing, like, what is his name? Dr. Reed.
Dr. Reed. Ugh.
I literally, in my notes, Elastaman was like, oh, we should leave this. We don't need to do this anymore. And then she's like, oh, yeah. And then they're all just pissed on the plane being like, oh, you're going to leave us alone and we're going to be all by ourselves. I was like, classic. The classic. I love it.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway.
It's so unearned, too.
I know.
Yeah. Damon, and I swear this is my last one. I just want to call out one more thing that really I do not like in movies, and hopefully we've stopped doing it. And it's about justice for people with lazy eyes. The doctor, the creepy lazy eye doctor that they have, who's going to torture him.
Mm-hmm.
That trope is so painful, where it's like, I look a little different, and so I cause pain. And he's like, we have ways of making you talk, or whatever, thing like that. Just a trope that needs to die along with Von Doom.
Mm-hmm.
I would agree. That man who was doing the torturing was the character David Lee on The Good Wife and The Good Fight. And
I didn't know that you watched The Good Wife. Just for the listener, I feel like if Damon and I have had 5 conversations, we've had more, but every 5 conversations, 2 of them are about The Good Wife.
Have you watched?
I don't need to. I have a friend who watches for me.
Okay. So you like the conversations? I don't
love them. Live for them.
And you know what? Keep this in, Michael, because you know what I live for? I live for a little game called Fuck, Marry, Kill. And that's where we're at. Everybody, we're back doing Fuck, Marry, Kill. And we're going to do Fantastic Four all month long. I hate that I did this, but this is what it is. So the way we do Fuck, Marry, Kill for Fantastic Four, all 4 members of the Fantastic Four are on the board. Sadly, Doom and Silver Surfer, to the sides. If you want to incorporate them in some way, that's I'm sorry, Andrew. That is up to you. Sorry, Cassie. I will go first to give my my guests time to think, and listeners play along at home. Okay, Fuck, Marry, Kill. Do I want to be different than last time? No, I don't. I will. Let's just say Invisible Woman is off the board. She's invisible. I can't find her. I'm going to kill Reed Richards again. This time, that noodle machine that you put noodles in and you spin the little crank and it comes out. Or I'm sorry, maybe I'm thinking of noodles or a meat grind. Oh, yeah. Wait, actually, yeah. I'm going to do the noodle thing where I'll flatten him out and I'll roll him up, put him in a meat grinder and just spit him out that way. And then I'll burn whatever is left. I cannot stand Reed Richards. You suck, you garbage, you stank. I'm gonna fuck the thing. I'm gonna fuck the thing again. Move over, Kerry Washington. I'm going to get on that rock and just kind of see how you do it. I'm curious. How does it work? Where do you start? When do you end? And then I'm gonna marry Johnny Storm. I know people who listen to this podcast, you can probably tell I have terrible taste in men, and I'm not stopping now. He's garbage. But I think I can change him. I can be his Cadet Kelly, and I think we'll live happily ever after. Those are my picks. Let's go to Cassie Grilley. Fuck, Marry, Kill. What are you going to do?
Okay. All right. Thinking hard about this. Okay. I'm going to go kill Dr. Reed. I will also kill him because, again, kind of annoying. I get it. And another fun part was when he was like, yeah, I'm just the nerd who studied while and
my God.
I was like, that was incredible.
And he said, I get the hot girl.
Yeah, and I got the hot girl. And then she was like, that made me so hot or something. I was like, oh my God.
I'm dating the hottest girl in the world.
Yeah.
And you're the quarterback of the football team. What?
Yeah, exactly. I was like, okay, award-winning performance.
How could Mark Anthony do this to us?
Yeah, so I'm gonna kill him for that, and then I'd fuck Chris Evans. I mean, come on, flames, and then I'm gonna marry a Rockman. I'm gonna marry him because I feel like he would care about me, and he would be my bodyguard. But also, Jessica Alba. Both of them. You know what? I'm going to fucking do both of them. Because Jessica Alba will literally save everyone all the time. She's the protector. She's the best one out of all of them. So that's my choices.
Yeah. We didn't mention she did die in the movie. I forgot that part. Yeah, she got
stabbed in heart.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Right.
Which, again, is a mistake because there was that scene where the Silver Surfer went through her shield before, and then Dr. Doom threw one of the surfboard spears at her, and she just puts up a shield again. And it's like, those can go through your shield.
Yeah.
Look at me trying to find the logic in Fantastic Four Silver Surfer. Cassie, that was amazing picks. Thank you so much. Andrew Knox, who you're knocking?
Okay, I'm killing Rockman, and I'll tell you why. The eyes when he is the Rockman look like the Ninja Turtle movies from the 90s eyes. It looks like the reindeer from the Santa Claus. You remember those weird reindeer eyes from the Santa? This animatronic and creepy, and it feels like I'm at the Hall of Presidents. No, he's got to go. I'm going to kill him with Lubriderm and solve his skin issue, but drown him in it. Okay, I'm going to do a erasure for Dr. Reed. He's no longer in it. And then I will see, this is tough. This is a tough one. People. You can't go wrong here, right? I think there was a joke in the movie about hooking up with the fire guy and how you could get burned. I'm not interested in being, I can stay in the sun for 3 minutes if I want to get burned. So I'm going to marry him, and I'm going to fuck the Jessica Alba's invisible character. And you know what? Yeah, that's what I'm going to do.
Also, that you couldn't find the words "invisible woman" and you went with "invisible character."
I think I felt so gross about saying fuck that it just stuck with me. I also ate dinner once at a table next to Jessica Alba, so I do feel like we have that kind of like built-in chemistry.
100%.
Yeah, there's that.
There's that. Very fair. Amazing picks, all of us. Thank you guys so much for doing this. Cassie Grilley, where can people find you on the internet if they want to like follow you? And do you have shows coming up? What's happening? Talk about your life.
Well, you can follow me at CassieWassy295 on Instagram and other things like that. I do a show called Drunk Theater every Friday in Santa Monica at 9 p.m. If you want to see some improvised shows. And I also do other improvised shows all over LA.
Hell yeah. Thank you. #workwife. Andrew Knox, where can people find you? What's going on with your life?
You can find me on all social media at SoftKnox, spelled Knox. Let's see. I don't know when this is coming out, but I'm doing 2 shows, one that Damon's also in, and then one with Damon Wednesdays at the Yard at 9 p.m. Is that right?
Oh,
Take it away, Damon.
Oh, it's at 7 p.m. And if you're late,
7
I will
p.m.
never forgive you.
Well, sorry, I'm still on Central Time.
Oh, fair. Yes. So this episode should be coming out April 10th, right, Michael? So Andrew, you already performed at the Illuminati Hour and you were fantastic.
Thank you so much.
But coming up this Wednesday, yeah, Andrew and I are going to do some improv with our beautiful team name, Omarion. And yeah, I hope it sticks.
Bump, bump, bump.
You can follow this podcast 616 on Instagram at podcast 616P3. That P3 stands for Press Play Podcasts, our podcasting network that allows me to do this show. You dummies, regulate me. Anyway, producer Michael, if you want to hop on the mic real quick, what letter grade would you give this podcast episode that we just did?
I'll give you guys an A+, and I'm really thankful I don't have to talk about Fantastic Four anymore.
No, not you, Michael. I have one more to do, but Michael's taking a break. Conveniently not seeing this through. So yeah, next week we'll be doing Fantastic Four 2015. Did you want a gritty remake of the Fantastic Four? You got it, babies. That's coming up next week, and man, it broke me. The Fantastic Four has broken me. Anyway, thank you to my guests, Andrew Knox and Cassie Grilley. Thank you so much to Michael, our producer. Thank you to Press Play Podcast. I've been your host, Damon Royster, and don't forget that with great power comes great responsibility, and flame out.